Let's talk about a tool that launched with absolutely zero fanfare, but went on to become the fastest adopted technology in human history. Seriously. A tool that is fundamentally changing how every single one of us works. We're talking about ChatGPT, and we're going to break down exactly what you need to know right now. So, picture this. The date is November 30th, 2022. It wasn't some big, flashy launch event. There was no Super Bowl ad, no huge press conference. A company out of San Francisco called OpenAI just quietly put a new tool on the internet. It almost felt like they were just running an experiment. But what happened next was just insane. It was like a digital wildfire. In just 1 week, 7 days, 1 million people had signed up. Now, to put that in perspective, it took Netflix more than 3 years to get to that number. And it gets crazier. Within 2 months, an unbelievable 100 million users. Nothing in history has ever moved that fast.
Let's just let that sink in for a second. Nothing. No invention, no app, no website, nothing in all of human history had ever been adopted this quickly. This wasn't just some new piece of software anymore. It was a global phenomenon, and its name was ChatGPT.
Okay, so that brings us to the big question, right? We've seen the mind-blowing numbers. We get that it's a huge deal. But what is this thing, really?
So here's the simplest way to think about it. Imagine a super intelligent brain that has basically read a giant chunk of the internet. We're talking countless books, millions of articles, websites, you name it. All of that training allows it to understand not just words, but the context behind them, and to chat with you in a way that feels incredibly human.
And what it can do is just wow. 1 minute, you can ask it to explain something super complex like quantum physics in really simple terms. The next, you can have it draft a perfectly professional email to your boss. It can write computer code, summarize a dense report, help you practice for a job interview. The range is just unbelievable. It's like a Swiss Army knife for your brain.
But look, this isn't just some cool toy to play with. When you learn how to use it right, it literally becomes a professional superpower. So let's get practical and talk about how you can use this to seriously accelerate your career.
All right, think about report writing, that task that can just eat up hours and hours of your day. Well, with ChatGPT, you just give it your key points, feed it the data, and ask it to write the report. Then all you have to do is come in at the end to review and edit the draft. The whole process is just completely transformed.
Or, hey, let's say you're staring at a spreadsheet that looks something like this, a bunch of financial data. Normally, you'd have to spend a ton of time just digging through the numbers trying to figure out what the story is. But instead, you can just give this table to ChatGPT, and instantly, it'll spot that big revenue surge in Q4, it'll analyze the profit margin trends, and it'll even suggest what you should probably investigate next. It is literally like having a senior data analyst sitting right next to you, ready to help 24/7.
And it goes way beyond just data analysis. Think of it as your personal growth engine. Need to understand a complicated business concept? Just ask it for a simple explanation. Preparing for a really important job interview? You can run mock interviews with it and get immediate feedback. And just think about the time you save drafting emails. We're talking hours every single week.
Okay, but, and this is a big but, using it well isn't just about throwing tasks at it. There is a right way and a wrong way to think about this. So let's talk about the rules for getting truly smart results.
This right here, this is probably the most important rule to remember. ChatGPT is not a magic box that just spits out perfect finished work. You need to think of it as an incredibly intelligent assistant that gives you, say, a 90% head start on almost any task you can imagine. And that thinking leads to this really crucial distinction. The wrong mindset is seeing AI as a replacement for your brain, where you just blindly trust everything it says. The right mindset? Seeing it as a tool that multiplies your own intelligence and productivity. You are always the one in control. You verify, you edit, you use your own judgment. And the payoff for using it the right way? It's huge. I mean, studies are already showing that people can save 1 to 2 hours every single day just from using it for emails and other communications. That's like getting an extra work week back every single month. What could you do with that time? So all of this, it brings us to a fundamental crossroads. The arrival of technology this powerful isn't just a small update to our lives. It's presenting a very clear, very real choice for every single professional out there. And that choice is creating a brand new professional divide. On one side, you've got the people who learn and master AI tools. They're going to produce more, they're going to learn faster, and they are going to advance in their careers more quickly, period. On the other side, well, you have those who don't. And you'll notice the slide leaves their fate blank for a reason. And really, that leaves all of us with one final, very direct question to think about. This technology is here. It is not going away. In fact, it's only getting more powerful. So, which side of that divide are you going to be on?